Hi, our team is Marketing Group 5A. Our team name is the Grande Group of Under Construction Crews. Our team members are Ray, Lily, Ewan, and Om. Today, our focus would be understanding Starbucks customer retention drivers. Our statement of the problem would be what factors influence Starbucks customer intent to stay, and how can this company improve retention through marketing strategies? This is a data overview of our data set. So we got this data set through Kaggle. It focuses on Starbucks customer retention in Malaysia. Below is our data explanation. So there are more than 100 individual respondents for the sample, and each row represents one Starbucks customer in Malaysia. It captures both behavioral pattern, such as visits and spendings, and also perceptions such as satisfactions, experience, and Starbucks promotions. So we included 33 variables covering multiple aspects of customers' experience and behavior. The type of data we have is that all survey-based response. It includes categorical, scale rating, and numerical behavior indicators. The main categories are demographics, which includes gender, age, income, and occupation. The second one would be customer behavior. It includes visit frequency, time spent in store. And the third one would be spending and products preference. It includes beverage choices, consumption patterns, and also typical spending per visit. This fourth one is satisfaction ratings. It includes product quality, price fairness, service quality such as Wi-Fi, and also overall choices. The fifth one would be promotion and communication channels. It includes how customers interact with promotions and how they heard of the Starbucks Rewards app. Last but not least is the sixth one, which is customer loyalty, also known as retention. So it measures the intention of customers to stay, the loyalty score, and whether the customer intends to continue buying from Starbucks with their app and also in store.
To begin our analysis, we first conducted ADA analysis to understand who Starbucks customers are and how they behave. From the demographic profile, we observed that the gender distribution is fairly balanced, and the majority of customers fall between ages 20 and 29. This indicates that the Starbucks primarily attracts younger adults. In terms of customer behavior, most respondents visit Starbucks only occasionally, mostly like monthly or rarely, and they tend to stay for less than 1 hour during each visit. Membership card usage is also moderate, suggesting that loyalty engagement is not particularly strong. Finally, looking at experience ratings, satisfaction is generally positive. Product ratings and promotion ratings are especially strong, with most responses falling into the 4 to 5 range. Price ratings, however, are more mixed, indicating that customers may be somewhat sensitive to Starbucks price. Next, we conducted factor analysis to uncover the underlying dimensions behind customer satisfaction ratings. First, the KMO value of 0.798 and the highly significant test confirmed that our data is appropriate for factor analysis. Using total variance explained and the screen plot, we identified a clear two-factor solution that explains the total of 61.1% of the variance in satisfaction responses. Looking at the rotated component matrix, the first factor loads strongly on product rate, price rate, and the choose rate. These items relate to customers' perception of product quality, price, fitness, and overall preference. So we interpret factor one as product and value perception. The second factor loads on Wi-Fi rate, promo rate, service rate, and the ambience rate. These variables reflect the in-store environment, customer service experience, Wi-Fi reliability, and the response to promotions. So we interpret factor 2 as store and promotion experience. Overall, these two factors summarize the core dimensions of how customers evaluate their Starbucks experience and provide a foundation for deeper analysis in the next steps.
Our logistic regression model shows that customer loyalty at Starbucks is driven mainly by behavioral factors, not demographics. The strongest predictor is visit frequency. Customers who visit more often are nearly 16 times more likely to be loyal. Time spent in the store also matters. Customers who stay longer are about 2.5 times more likely to be loyal, highlighting the importance of Starbucks as a comfortable place to study, work, or socialize. Membership card ownership has a strong positive effect as well, with card holders being roughly 4 times more likely to remain loyal. In contrast, demographics factors like gender, age, and income did not significantly predict loyalty. Overall, this results suggest that Starbucks should continue focusing on strategies that increase visit frequency, encourage longer stays, and promote the membership program, as these behaviors are the key drivers of long-term customer loyalties.
Hello, my name is Om Garia, and today I'm going to talk about the clustering, segmentation, and profiling part of our marketing project presentation. To devise the marketing strategies and promotional campaigns to retain the customer base at Starbucks, we use the K-means algorithm to divide the customers into 4 optimal clusters. The PCA scatter plot, which we'll see in the next slide, shows that the customers are well separated into distinct groups, each reflecting different behavioral and satisfaction patterns. So from this outcome, we can conclude that the Starbucks customer base is heterogeneous with clear subgroups that can be targeted differently for retention. The clustering reduced the complexity from dozens of features into 4 actionable personas, making the data more interpretable for marketing strategy. Moving on to the next slide. So as on the left, we can see the cluster plot of the customers. So the customers were divided into 4 clusters, named as 0, 1, 2, 3, and in different colors and shapes. So as we can see, the ones in the greens and named as cluster 0 are generally the loyal customers and they are high spenders. So no matter what, they will always come to the Starbucks to buy their favorite product and require little to no marketing campaigns. The clusters on the left axis and in the orange are generally the ones who are deal driven and price sensitive, so they spend less and they are generally more sensitive to promotional campaigns. The cluster on the higher axis on the Y are generally the experience seekers who generally value more experience more than the product itself, and they care more about the ambience and service. So it can be a good target for the campaigns and promotions. And the last cluster, then the cluster number 3, which is in the middle of the axis, on the x-axis, so are generally low engagement occasional visitors who generally visit occasionally, spend less, and they are generally uh, engage less with the promotions and campaigns, and they generally have mixed satisfaction of the product. As we can see, some are on the left side of the axis, some are on the right, which basically describes their behaviors and can be a good target for promotional and campaigning activities. Thank you.
Our STP analysis categorizes Starbucks customer into 4 key segments and outline how the company should target and position its offerings for each group. The first segment is app loyal high spenders, which represents Starbucks' most profitable customers. They consistently use the mobile app, spend more per visit, and show strong loyalty. This segment should be the highest priority, with positioning focused on exclusive app-based perks, premium beverage options, and attractive loyalty bonuses. Next, we have deal-driven price sensitives. These customers respond strongly to discounts and promotional offers. They offer high activation potential if Starbucks strategically uses bundle deals, seasonal promotions, and bonus reward points to entice repeat visits. The third segment is experience seekers who care most about the in-store environment. They come for the ambience, handcrafted drinks, and the cafe vibe. Targeting should focus on enhancing comfort, interior design, and the overall Starbucks third place experience. Finally, occasional visitors represent a lower priority group. because they are harder and more expensive to convert. Positioning for them should focus on simple onboarding, basic rewards, convenient locations, and entry-level offers to gradually increase engagement.
Moving on to our recommendations and managerial implications. Firstly, referring to our EDA insight and SDP analysis. Our first recommendation is to focus on store atmosphere and cleanliness. A lot of customers tend to spend not that much time in store. And so if we focus on making these interactions really pleasant, then we can perhaps encourage them to come back more often. Additionally, we can also add on frequency-based promotions. A lot of customers are using Starbucks promotions when they come into store or when they order online, and this one would just incentivize them to come in maybe a few times a week rather than just a few times a month. And for management specifically, we want them to prioritize customer service through consistent visit experiences. And by consistency, we don't just mean at the same store. We don't just want the a visit at a Starbucks location to be the same every time. We want the visit experience to be consistent everywhere. No matter what Starbucks you go to, we want people to see the Starbucks brand and know that they're going to get a quick and consistent service. And lastly, we want a higher emphasis on store arrangement and mood. This can be achieved through music, lighting, and maybe even events. Things like these are stuff that you don't really focus on when you look at the big picture when we're taking in this data and kind of giving you a recommendation. But when you go into store, and especially these younger customers, they're definitely going to be focusing on what kind of music is playing, how does it make them feel, what does the store physically look like. And if we improve on those, then I'm sure that more customers will come back. Moving on to limitations, a lot of our data was self-reported, and this can introduce biases. There could be a lot of over and underestimation of spend or visit frequency. People tend to not have the best memory in terms of how long they exactly stayed, how many times a week or month they usually go. Additionally, we ran into some issues when we were clustering. There were some missing variables or kind of missing factors that we thought could play a pretty important part into customer segmentation, but they just weren't present in our data, so there wasn't too much we could do about that. Customer behavior is really complex and it can result in pretty messy segments. Clustering is trying to split the customers into different clusters, and each cluster is supposed to be very unique. And within each cluster, there's supposed to be a lot of customers that are very similar. But because the behavior is so complex, it can be really difficult to kind of get these clean clusters. Additionally, we had pretty weak store level variables going back to the self-reported data. A lot of the ratings were subjective rather than operational metrics, and this just kind of weakens our conclusions overall, just because we don't have hard numbers to work off of. There were some survey design limitations. There was a lot of cross-sectional data, which can't really track customer behavior over time. This kind of data would have helped a lot. We could have seen the impact that some kind of promotions or in-store changes had on customer behavior. And lastly, there was some sampling and generalizing issues, just because most of the respondents were in their 20s and they may not represent a more general customer base. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening.